Merry Christmas, everybody! It's only 80 degrees out. Hi, it's me, JD, and welcome back to my channel. I've got my Christmas sweater on, ready to celebrate. In this video, okay, it's too hot. Sorry, I gotta go. Much better. A few of my crafty friends and I decided to get together for a little Christmas video circle, just making a bunch of holiday cards. We're going to be using a variety of different techniques and supplies and just spreading Christmas cheer for hopefully a very festive and celebratory Christmas 2020. My video will be focused on Cricut Christmas cards, but you might be able to draw some inspiration if you don't have one. After you watch this video and then you're inspired, we'd also love to see some of your holiday card creations. So feel free to post your creations with the hashtags Christmas 2020 or Christmas Card Bank, and we can see everyone's fun holiday cards. Now let's get to the card making. This first card is an easy way to customize your Cricut Christmas card. For all of these Cricut Christmas card ideas, you will not need any, specific design knowledge. It's really using the basic shapes that are already in Cricut Design Space, as well as some images that are in Cricut Access already. In all of these handmade holiday shaker cards, I'm going to make the entire note card and have a cutout on the front panel for the shaker piece. I started by making an 8.5 by 5.5 note card. I put that score line there as a placeholder so I know where to position my cutout for the front panel of my card. And as you see here, I made another 4.25 by 5.5 panel. That will be the acetate piece because I'm going to cut out all of the pieces with my Cricut machine. So I have the note card so far and the acetate piece I'm going to cut out. Now I'm making a smaller rectangle to cut out the frame for the shaker. I'll then hide that score line, and then I will select these two shapes, the note card and the cutout piece. And then I'm going to hit slice. And then I'll remove the rectangle, and now I have an entire note card that can be cut out with the shaker frame already cut out. If you're using traditional supplies, this part would have to be done with a metal die and a die cutting machine. But I'm going to be using my Cricut, and now I'm going to really customize my Christmas card by making a sentiment that's going to be cut out along with the note card. It'll be all welded together, and my Cricut will cut it in one piece. My holiday card is going to say ho ho ho, so now I typed out the word ho in big block letters and I ungrouped it, and now I'm going to place the H and the O directly like overlapping each other, and then I'll group it, and then I will move around this word ho to have the letters H and O overlap the frame of the shaker. All of these elements have to overlap. That way when you weld it together, it'll weld it all as one piece. And once I'm happy with the size and how it overlaps, then I will duplicate it 2 more times to get ho 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 and make sure that all of these words are overlapping letter-wise and within the frame. And before I weld this all together, you guys know me, I like to just group everything together and make a copy and just hide that copy just in case I need to make any edits or I mess up somehow. Just having a regular copy of it just gives me some peace of mind. You don't have to do this step, obviously. I would just hate to do all that work again if it cuts out wrong or something, or if I miss something. I'll just quickly hide the copy, and now I'll go back to the original piece. I will select the note card and the words ho ho ho, and then I'll go to the bottom and hit weld. And this will weld all the pieces together so it cuts out into one piece. The last important step before you hit make it is that you want to make a backing piece for your shaker. So I'm just going to duplicate this acetate piece here, and I'm going to change the color. So one will represent the acetate, and another will represent the backing piece to my shaker card, which will hold all of my little shaker bits and sequins. In total, 3 pieces will be cut out, so that's my note card, the acetate, and a 3rd backing piece. Then I'll hit make it to send all this to the machine. I've got some farmhouse Christmas themed scrapbook paper to use up, as well as some of my favorite adhesives for shaker cards. I'll quickly score my note card with my scoreboard. You can use the scoring tool on the Cricut, but I much prefer using my bone folder with this scoreboard because I think it provides a little more crisper fold. Then I will begin assembling my shaker card. I've done a lot of shaker card videos in the past, so if you want detailed instructions on how to make a shaker card, be sure to check those out. I'll link them down below. But for this video, I'm just going to quickly go over the details because it gets kind of repetitive. Step 1, you gotta attach the acetate behind your shaker frame, and I'm doing that with some really strong double-sided adhesive. Then I will peel off all of that backing and then slowly and carefully place my acetate onto the back of this, making sure the edges are as lined up as possible. If yours overhangs somewhat, you can always just trim it off with a pair of scissors. Then on the back of the acetate, I will add some foam tape. Find double-sided foam tape in any office supply store or online. What's important here about adding the foam tape is I'm adding it behind the note card frame because I want it to be hidden from the front, and I'm shaping it in the form of a well. And this well helps keep all the sequins inside and not falling out of your card. I'm just making sure to close up all of those gaps. The next part is the fun part of adding all of your sequins. I'm using Christmas colors, and the tricky part is just deciding how much to add it, because you don't want to overstuff your sequins, but you definitely want some sparkle and some jingle in there. I'll quickly dust the inside of this foam tape well, just to make sure none of my sequins stick to the side, and then I cut the wrong piece of, of the scrapbook paper because I cut one with a label on it. Whoops! See, normally I use cardstock, so it's all the same color on both sides. Scrapbook paper is a different animal. I forgot about that. Anyway, I'm just gonna put this backing piece on there without any labels showing, and then I'll close my note card up, and my shaker card is almost complete. There's a little bit of foam tape sticking up there, and once I remove that, it is completely done. Next, I will make a shaped Christmas shaker card, and thankfully Cricut Design Space already has a star shape built into the program, and I don't have any need for any expensive star dies. I can just pull up a star and it can be any size I want, and the Cricut machine will cut it out. But now I want to step it up a level and make a star shaped card. Once I'm happy with the size and shape of my star, I'm just going to pull up a square. You can pull up a square, a rectangle, anything with a straight edge. Now I'm going to rotate my star so that 2 points are perpendicular to the bottom of the card, which means basically I want these 2 points of the star to be the folded edge of my card. Having 2 points versus 1 point will give you more stability in your note card. Then I'll move the square over to line things up. I can also use the grid on the back to help line things up. I'll select everything, and then I'm going to hit slice. This cuts off where the star and the square overlapped previously, and now I have a star with 2 points that have a straight edge. I'll then duplicate this new shape and then flip one of them so I have a mirror image. I'll then select the one on the right because that's going to be my front panel, and I'm going to duplicate that once more because that is going to be my acetate piece. I'll turn that gray just to, as a visual reminder. To make my shaker frame now, I'm going to duplicate it again, and then once I line it up over that front star, I'm going to shrink it down until I have enough room to lay down some foam tape along the border. And so I'll just separate this piece by itself right now. I'm going to hit slice, and this will cut out the inner part of my new star shape. I'll just delete that inner piece, and now I have a custom frame. Now that I have the frame, I will align it with that backing piece. I'll group them together just to move them, and then I'll weld them to make it permanent, and it'll be cut out as one solid piece. I will also duplicate that acetate piece because I will need a custom backing piece for this star-shaped shaker card as well. I'll change the color of this third shape just so it tells Cricut that I'm going to need 3 different pass-throughs. So I have 1 for acetate, 1 for the backing piece, and 1 for the note card. And then I will hit make it to send it to the machine. With a cutting machine, the sky really is the limit when it comes to customized shaped cards like this. You can make any shape, any size that you can think of. Assembling the shaker card is also a cinch. And just remember, when you're assembling the shaker card, just don't be a dummy like me and be so excited to put that backing piece on there that you forget to put the sequins inside the shaker card. And you even go on to cut off some of that excess backing before you even realize that your mistake, that your shaker card has no shake. So, not wanting to damage my card, I'm just going to peel up one of the corners and put some sequins in there one by one. I also use score tape instead of foam tape, so this is going to be a very thin shaker card and my sequins will move around very little, but that's okay because it still has sparkle in it and it moves somewhat even with the score tape. If you didn't want to make these into note cards, these would be really cute ideas for like Christmas tags or ornaments as well. For this next card, I'm going to use similar steps as before, but add a little more customization. So first, I'm actually going to pull an image from Cricut Access of an ornament because I don't want to design one on myself. I just rather use one of their outlines, and I'll scroll through their huge library until I find a solid one I like, and I think I will choose this red and silver one right here. Same as before, I'm going to use a square to make a straight edge overlap, and then once I like the placement of it and I have enough of a space to fold the card, I'll select both the circle and the square and hit slice and just cut away or just delete all those pieces away. Then I'll duplicate my shape and I'll flip it so I have a front panel and a back panel. Before welding this all together, I want to make sure I duplicate the one on the right to have an acetate piece as well as a backing piece. And now I'm going to cut out the frame of that front panel. To do this, I'll just pull up a circle shape to insert it on or lay it on top of my front panel. And then once I like the size and placement of it, I'll select both shapes and hit slice. So it cuts it all, and then I'll just remove that inner part. And now I have a shaker frame. Then I started to play around with some designs. I put a bunch of stars here that overlapped with my frame. I'll group these all together and then I will weld it so it all cuts out one piece, and I thought that was interesting. And then to personalize this card, I got inspiration from one of our existing Christmas ornaments, which has our initial on it, our family's initial on it, and I will just type out a C, and this is really cute for like monogram Christmas cards. It can be personalized to any family member. If you have alphabet dies, you can certainly, use those, but I figured if I have the Cricut machine all set up and running, I might as well just use it to cut out a letter anyway. Same process as before. I'm going to align my frame with the backing piece, and then I will weld it so it forms one piece. I'll make sure that my monogram looks right, and then before I hit make it, I'm going to change it to the same color just so it all cuts on one mat before I hit make it. A quick card making hack I want to show you here is that when you're making shaker cards that are circular in shape, you want to peel the backing off the foam tape first, and that way it's much more easier to manipulate around your curved edge. This unique shape makes for a really fun idea for a Christmas card. I like this ornament shape so much that I decided to make a monogram card, and if you're worried about it fitting in an envelope, I just made it less than 4 1/4 inch wide and just put it in an A2 envelope. Here I wanted to show you that you can make virtually any shaped card with the Cricut. but it works best with symmetrical shapes, as in a Christmas tree. So I pulled up this Christmas image from Cricut Access, and I'll use it for my design. I had another one picked out, but I like this one better. So I'm going to use my square again to slice off some materials that I don't need for my card. So I don't need this trunk, so I'm just going to transform and rotate the square so it overlaps with that trunk piece and then I'll hit slice, and I'll slowly delete all of those extra pieces that I don't need. And I'll just repeat this process even with the star too. I'm not going to delete the star, I just want it to be its own separate layer. I'll change the color of these, number 1 to tell Cricut to put it on different mats, and number 2 to make it more festive. Again, I'll use a square to slice off an edge so it can be my folded edge for my card, and then I'll duplicate, flip, and then weld. Yes, even a Christmas tree can be a shaker frame. And if you guys are nervous about the top part of the Christmas tree and how thin it is and how there's basically no room for foam tape, don't worry, I have a workaround for that as well. So I'm just going to weld my note card together and make sure I have all of my shapes formed, and I will send this to the machine to cut. So here's the workaround for the top part of my Christmas tree. Since I couldn't put any foam tape on there, and since there's a big old gap, I'm just going to use extra big sequins and it won't fall out. That is my workaround for not realizing how thin the top of the Christmas card tree would be, because I certainly didn't want any foam tape peeking out from behind it. I'll fold the back piece over and then make sure that nothing falls out, which it doesn't because, you know, physics. And then I will add a star onto this card. What's a Christmas tree without a star? Well, I guess it's a regular tree. Anyway, speaking of all this customization and personalization of cards, I now want to send you over to Justine, who will also show you how to personalize Christmas cards that you'll just want to keep for a long, long time. Thanks for watching, guys.